Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I got on a weapon light to take a look at. This one's coming from MidTen. It looks to have really good performance numbers. It has a sliding rail system, so it should fit a lot of different handguns. And this is coming in at under $17 on Amazon right now, which I think makes this the cheapest weapon light that I've ever reviewed. So stick around if you want to learn about it. We'll do a real quick unboxing. We'll go over all the features and specifications. We'll go over the user interface. We'll get it mounted to something, get out to the range and do a little bit of testing with it, and then I'll give some thoughts on it. So there is not a ton of information on the box. That's about it right there, but let's get into it, see how things are packaged and what all we get with it. So it looks like the light and then maybe a charging cable. So in that baggie was an Allen key and then another rail key. This is a 1913 one. Hopefully you can see that. And there will be a Glock one that's already installed on the light. That charging cable is type A to type C. And I will quickly show you the manual just in case there are things that I leave out in this video, or in case you pick up this light and then lose your manual. You can always come back to this video for reference. And the warranty looks like is for 1 year. So here is this MidTen weapon light. I'll just kind of show you guys some close-ups before we get into everything. So the majority of this light is made out of some type of polymer. I believe that the bezel up here around the lens, I think that might be aluminum, and they're probably using some kind of like steel bolt or something here. Once we get that on the rail, that should not stick out like that. That's obviously going to get bigger here as we put it on, but most everything feels plastic. The switches here do feel like they might have a rubber coating or something on it. And then down here's our USB-C charging port. Let's see what that looks like. Grab you guys some quick dimensions here. We're at about 2.4 inches in length. Maybe 1.3 or close to it. Kind of in height. And then in thickness, 1.1. We are looking at a total weight of 1.5 ounces, and that 1.5 ounces is obviously very, very lightweight. But this does have a built-in lithium ion battery. I don't know the exact milliamp hours on it, but I know it's supposed to last around 60 to 70 minutes or so, which is pretty standard for a light this size. So I've looked through the manual and the Amazon listing, and I cannot find a waterproof rating on this guy, so unfortunately I cannot tell you guys what it is. So this light is going to have 3 modes. You can have a momentary on, a constant on, or a strobe. The output is going to be 1,000 lumens for all 3 of those modes, and the beam distance throw is about 175 yards. You can see we obviously have 2 switches here, and if you want the momentary on, you press either switch and hold. You can see we have a really nice center hotspot there. Pretty good flood over this way as well. I'm excited to see what this looks like in the dark later. But whenever you're ready to release it, you just release your finger there. If you want that to be constant on, just press either button and then just release immediately. I gotta say, so far this beam looks very impressive. I mean, I'm in a well-lit room in the middle of the day with blinds open, and you can still see that really well. I'll show you the strobe next, so if you're sensitive to flashing lights you can look away, but you just get to that by double tapping either button. We'll look at that pattern for a minute here just to see if it changes a whole lot. And that's it as far as the operation. Like I said, it is very, very simple, which is what you want with a weapon light. I'm going to show you guys mounting next. Since it has that Glock key in it. We'll put it on a Glock to start. Every gun that I show here today has all been safety checked. And just so YouTube knows, putting a flashlight on a weapon does not modify that weapon in any way. So these are not spring loaded like a lot of other weapon lights. So we are going to have to probably completely remove this screw here with that Allen key. And with that other side removed, you can kind of now see how this is going to work. So there's like these 4 little nubs here, and you could basically place this anywhere along here to make this come back to your trigger guard area and have the right, you know, reach and stuff for your finger. Like, you have a lot of options to put this in different places through here. And so what you can do is basically place this in, you know, a position. So like right now I've got like maybe what, 3.5 of these little slots showing. I can hold this up to my spot and say, well, that's not going to work there. And then let's just say I move it to another spot. So now I've got a couple showing. I could hold it up here and say, oh, I'm still not close enough. So let's just go all the way up to the front here. So up to there. And now it comes back further. And just so you guys know, once you get this key kind of set in the desired spot for you, you don't have to actually remove this all the way to like put this on and off your gun. You just have to loosen it up enough and it will slide on there, and then you just have to tighten that screw up. But you do need to remove this if you want to change that position, because this screw basically runs through the center of this thing, so there's no way to pull that off if that screw is going through it. So that is what it's going to look like on a Glock 19. Can reach the switches pretty easily. Let's see about my offhand. You're kind of going in like this part here of your thumb. So I'm going to switch out that Glock rail key, put in the 1913. So the Amazon listing says that this is not supposed to work with subcompacts, anything with a really short rail. I don't know the exact length of this, but I mean, it's maybe 1.25 inches. This is a G3C. This is definitely a subcompact. And I put in that 1913 rail and I moved it to that spot there, and it will for sure fit this. So I'm going to say that some subcompacts it might and some it might not, but I think it probably will. But as you can see, it obviously fits it just fine. This is what it would look like on a full size, like a duty gun. I think this barrel's maybe close to 4.5 inches. And even though it's designed for a pistol, you can definitely put it on a rifle as well. I'm going to get this fully charged before we do any of the nighttime shots. You can use any 5-volt source to charge it. We're going to have a red light when it's charging, green when it's fully charged, and I believe that takes about 1.5 hours if this were completely dead. Alright, let's check out this weapon light here in the dark. I'm going to be inside the house here first. And that does have a pretty decent hot spot there. Pretty good spill as well. And just so you know, I have it removed from the gun. So when I go outside, I'm not going to be pointing a gun at anything. Show you here again. And I am going to do the strobe here next, so if you're sensitive you can look away. So again, 2 presses. Alright, and now outside, there's a row of trees that's maybe 60 or 70 feet away from me right now. See what this looks like. can see it does throw the beam pretty well. That tree that's back there, kind of in between those, that's actually about 100 yards away. Alright guys, out at the range this morning with that MidTen weapon light. Probably going to put 50 to 100 rounds total through it. Make sure that there's not any flickering of the light. Make sure it doesn't shut off. Make sure that it stays tight to the rail. Just stuff like that. So I've had a chance to use this MidTen weapon light, and overall it's actually pretty decent. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it is very inexpensive. It's very lightweight, you know, at 1.5 ounces. Overall, it's got pretty good performance at 1,000 lumens. I don't know what the candela is on it. I don't have any way of measuring that, and I couldn't find it in the Amazon list anywhere, but it is very bright. I mean, I could see a tree 100 yards away pretty easily. You don't have to worry about any batteries with this, and you can charge it with that USB-C port without removing the light from the gun. And it does fit a variety of different handguns with that sliding plate and with the different rail keys. A few things to let you guys know about. First is that the buttons are just a little bit stiff there on the switch. You do kind of have to be at a good angle. If your finger is flat and you try just pushing straight in, they don't want to activate, so you kind of have to bend your finger just a little bit, and then it's, you know, it's kind of easy. But just to let you know about that. The other thing is, even though you don't have to change any batteries, this obviously does have an internal battery, so it's not swappable. If it goes dead, you can't just put another one in. You do have to wait for it to charge. And kind of speaking on that, there's not any type of battery indicator to let you know when it's getting low or anything. But again, keep in mind that this is under $17. Another thing is this screw does stick out a little bit. I'm sure that you could kind of, you know, shave that down a little bit, but I wanted to let you guys know. So I don't know if that would affect like holster fitment or not. And again, I don't know what holsters it will fit. But yeah, that screw definitely sticks out. And on every gun that I tried, including that full-size CZ, it still stuck out some. And then probably the last thing is that the majority of this is made out of plastic. Now, I didn't do any type of torture testing with this to like bead on it and everything, but it is mostly a plastic housing with just some aluminum up here around the bezel. So I just don't know about durability with it. So again, these lights are available on Amazon. At the time of me making this video, they're coming in at $16.49. I mean, it's a fantastic price. You know, usually I would recommend saving for something like a Streamlight or a Surefire, Mod Light, something like that. But those can be several $100s. You know, and if all you can afford is $20 for a light, this is probably a decent option. I will leave that Amazon link down in the video description in case you guys want to find out more information on the light, read some of the reviews, or if you want to pick one up. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.